Aslan, morning. From my knowledge and lots of research done over 40 years, from the time I was a child, I've always been told that the liver is linked with the eyes, with your eyes. So let's say, for instance, if your eyes are inflamed, means your liver is in bad shape. So what I propose that you do is do a lot of research on TCM and the efficacy of, say, for instance, chrysanthemum flowers. Just steep it in hot water and drink it like a tea. Chrysanthemum, dried flowers, that is. That one you can get from the Chinese medicine shop. Done. So that one brings down inflammation like nobody's business. If you could take sugar, then you just buy a packet of Yo Hyap Sing chrysanthemum tea. That's good enough. But if you have a problem with sugar intake, then buy a packet of this Chinese chrysanthemum tea, dried ones, from the Chinese medicine shop, boil it in water, and drink it like a normal tea. That brings down the inflammation of your eyes. And what they do is, my grandmother used to put all those dried, those wet, sort of not soaking wet, bags over on her eyes of the chrysanthemum flowers.
Dried chrysanthemum flowers in traditional Chinese medicine. Dried chrysanthemum flowers have been used for centuries in traditional Chinese medicine for their cooling properties and their support of eye health. Known as juhua in Chinese, these flowers are often used to create infusions that dispel internal heat, calm the liver, and alleviate symptoms like headaches or eye fatigue. In TCM, they are often combined with other herbs to correct imbalances. Beyond their traditional uses, chrysanthemum flowers also contain bioactive compounds like lutein and zeaxanthin. These carotenoids are known for their protective effects on eye health, filtering blue light and reducing the risk of age-related macular degeneration. Moreover, you can incorporate ground dried chrysanthemum into your smoothies. Once finely powdered, they blend easily with other ingredients, allowing you to enjoy their antioxidant and eye health benefits in a convenient, modest form. Thus, chrysanthemum offers both traditional cooling effects and contemporary potential for eye protection.
Okay, the second thing is to do with your liver. Your liver is the machine that clears all the toxins in your body. Absolutely remove all the toxins in the body. And if it malfunctions for whatever reason, it comes up in all sorts of nonsense. I believe your retinal tear or those stuff you're having, your eye problems, it can be pointed at the liver malfunctioning in one aspect. So the first detox for your liver, I would suggest, get some dried cloves from say Brickfields. One small packet is $2 or $3, so very cheap. And again, you put 10 or 12 of these cloves, make into water, drink it as clove water. In the morning 1 cup, at night 1 cup. This one cleanses your liver of parasitic eggs, okay? I take it all the time just to flush it out. Because what happens is that everybody advocates that you take ivermectin, benzoyl to clear your parasites, which cause a lot of the cancers, cause a lot of the problems in your eyes. So my suggestion is just start, don't care what it is, just take ivermectin 2 in the morning, 2 mgs in the morning, 2 per day, and then flush it out. But you must complement it with clove water to get rid of the eggs. So you start on that regime first. Later you go for a full liver detox. I am still searching around, but these 2 remedies that I talked about has been in use for thousands of years. Simple, effective. When I have a bad toothache, for instance, I still have some cavities, impossible to get at, not worth even changing the thing. And I hate Panadol and that sort of stuff. I usually just chew cloves, chew it in my mouth. It disinfects it, kills the bacteria, and it also numbs it. So it's a sort of anesthesia as well. Okay, so it's very cheap, very effective. I carry a packet in my pocket all the time, in my bag. So I just chew like the way you chew betel nut on 2 corners of my mouth and so on. Okay, good luck.
The liver. Central role in detoxification and metabolism. The liver is a vital organ with a central role in metabolism and detoxification. Positioned in the upper right abdomen, it processes nutrients absorbed from the digestive tract before they enter systemic circulation. One of its primary functions is filtering blood to remove toxins, drugs, and metabolic waste products. Specialized cells called Kupffer cells within the liver act as a first line of defense, engulfing pathogens and debris. Additionally, the liver modifies and metabolizes toxins, converting them into water-soluble forms that can be excreted via bile or urine. It also regulates cholesterol, synthesizes plasma proteins like albumin, and stores glycogen. This multifaceted role as a biochemical filter is essential for maintaining homeostasis, ensuring that harmful substances do not accumulate to damaging levels.
Cloves and eugenol. Eugenol is a major bioactive compound found in cloves, and it plays a key role in their medicinal properties. While it's a crucial part of clove oil, eugenol is not an essential oil by itself. Importantly, eugenol is known for its antioxidant properties as well as its analgesic effects. Beyond eugenol, cloves also contain a variety of other polyphenols such as flavonoids and tannins, along with vitamins like vitamin K and minerals like manganese. These compounds contribute to cloves' overall health benefits. When it comes to clove tea, people often grind cloves into a powder and steep them in hot water. Eugenol is relatively heat stable, but it is slightly sensitive to prolonged boiling. So a brief steeping is usually fine, though extended boiling could degrade some of the more delicate antioxidants and phytonutrients. Thus, a short infusion is best to preserve their efficacy.
The kidneys, vital role in detoxification and fluid balance. The kidneys are paired organs that serve as the body's primary filtration system, playing a crucial role in detoxification. Located in the lower back, they filter approximately 50 gallons of blood daily, removing waste products, excess fluids, and electrolytes. Blood enters the kidneys through the renal artery, and within their intricate structures, nephrons, they filter toxins from the bloodstream and excrete them as urine. In addition to detoxification, the kidneys regulate fluid balance, ensuring blood pressure and electrolyte levels remain stable. They also produce hormones such as erythropoietin, which stimulates red blood cell production, and renin, which helps regulate blood pressure. Thus, the kidneys act not only as a waste removal system, but also as key regulators of internal balance. Together, these functions are vital, ensuring toxins are kept in check and homeostasis is maintained.
I'd like to comment on the advice given by a well-meaning friend about the liver and the eyes. Number one, he's correct, absolutely correct, that the liver is the filter for the whole body, removes whatever toxins in the body. And you know when the liver is under stress is when you do a liver function test. And if three of those, there are three enzymes that are tested in the liver function test. And if any of these enzyme levels are elevated above the reference range, it means the liver has to produce more enzyme to do what it needs to do, so it's under stress. So if your liver enzymes are elevated, then you need to do something about it. Sometimes one enzyme is elevated, sometimes borderline, sometimes all three. And the Western doctors don't treat it until the level of your liver enzymes is twice what the reference range is. If it's slightly above, they say they will cure on its own, all that, because these Western doctors don't know shit about liver physiology. In my experience all the MOs I've met, all these part-time master students, tak boleh pakai punya. If you want to learn something, you find out from the world's leading subject matter expert. Look who are the liver experts and watch their YouTube videos, listen to their lectures, read their books, stuff like that. Not from, the bottom half of their cohort in their master's class and taught by a third-rate lecturer in a third-tier university in the third world. Okay, find out who's the world's leading expert on liver and then learn from them. Anyway, that's absolutely correct. Now, the antioxidants that are required for the eyes, according to two studies, the AREDS, Age-Related Eye Disease Study, there are two studies, AREDS and AREDS2. Okay, so these two studies say that what's needed for the eyes is vitamin A, vitamin C. Vitamin C, ascorbic acid, is in itself a major antioxidant. Vitamin E, also known as, one of the forms also as tocopherol, and it's found in cocoa. And the mineral zinc is required. Zinc acts as a catalyst in some physiological reactions, so it's needed. And the thing about boiling or putting chrysanthemum tea in hot water is that antioxidants degrade above 56 degrees Celsius. So it's counterproductive for that. They begin to degrade above 56 degrees Celsius. Typically, 10 minutes of boiling, you lose 20% of the nutritional value. So what I intend to do is to take the chrysanthemum and blend it and drink it in my smoothie. Okay, I think that would be more effective because the active ingredients in chrysanthemum flowers are actually the lutein and zeaxanthin. It's what gives the chrysanthemum flowers a yellow color. Okay, lutein and zeaxanthins are also carotenoids. Anyway, they are antioxidants particularly needed in the retina of the eye, in the macula, fovea centralis, and wherever else. Okay. The other point was about chrysanthemum. It's one of the ingredients in one of the TCM medicines that I take. Okay, so every time I go for the TCM treatment at the Malaysian Association for the Blind, if I'm going today, it's from 5:30 to 8:30 every Friday, and for non-OKUs, it's 35 ringgit. For OKUs, it means 20 ringgit. It's a consultation with the TCM doctor plus half an hour of acupuncture plus the medicine, everything 20 ringgit for me. For non-OKUs, it's 35 ringgit, which I think is much better value than at Tongshin. Tongshin, the consultation with the traditional Chinese medicine practitioner is 20 ringgit, and the medicine is a month's supply costs 37.50. I think it's 12.50 per bottle or something like that. Okay. So anyway, I think the one at MAB is better value for money. So I go there because when I go there, I can also do the bahu massage, shoulder massage, and the reflexology. Per session of 20 minutes is 20 ringgit. So if you have to wait a long time to see the TCM practitioner, then you take another session, 20 ringgit a pop. Okay, that's that. About cloves. Cloves is one of the major ingredients in my chaat masala. My chaat masala, I chose the spices with the most nutritional value, and the active ingredient in cloves is called eugenol. And eugenol is also an analgesia, so that's why if you bite on cloves, you can relieve tooth pain. It doesn't solve the problem, okay? It doesn't get rid of the bacteria that's causing the caries, but it just numbs the pain. It just masks the thing, so it's as good as taking Panadol. You don't feel the pain, but the underlying pathophysiology is still going on, and if you don't address the underlying pathophysiology, you don't get a filling, you might have to do an extraction. If you do an extraction, then you have to put a crown. And if you don't have roots, then you have to put an artificial root, which is known as a dental implant. And dental implants, there are many types. There are self-loading, there's immediate loading, and self-loading, immediate loading, delayed loading. There's also two-piece implants, single-piece implants. My preference is for single-piece implants because they are very atraumatic. I've got 2 or 3 implants in. The single-piece implant failed after 10 years or so it wasn't too bad. But it failed because I was wearing clear aligners and it moved, and then the wisdom tooth that was growing sideways moved because the tooth moved, it had space and it erupted, blah, blah, blah. Long story lah. So anyway, the eugenol is already in my chaat masala, which I put 1 tablespoon in my smoothie. So besides ground cloves, I put Ceylon cinnamon. I put some ginger for the ginger rolls. I put from 2 types of chili powder for the capsaicin. I put some pepper powder, put some asafoetida, and not kalonji. What else do I put? Cumin. So those are the spices. Like, it tastes wonderful. It's a bit strong, but you can get used to the taste, and you just put a tablespoon or 2 in my smoothies every day. I drink that boost my antioxidants in the body and the other micronutrients in those spices. I chose the spices with the highest nutrient density. Okay. You can also put it on fruits, just like the way you put asam boy powder on fruits and eat it. You can put it in tea. It becomes chaat masala. You can put it in coffee. Also, it works. It's quite nice. It's interesting. So I put it in my smoothies. If you want to know the recipe, I've written a book about it. You can download it for free from Z Library, the recipe for my various chaat masala, my dried herb mix, my seaweed mix, and what else? I've also made a video about the traditional Chinese medicine that I take, so you can have a look at that. And what else? Yeah, that's it. So those are my feedback on these comments made by my friend. Are you fat, sick, and nearly dead? Well, according to the data from the latest survey, 54.8% of Malaysians are. In fact, the statistics are quite scary. So if you or any of your loved ones are in this high-risk category, don't despair. I have good news for you. I've written more than 30 books on nutrition, and you can download them all for free. The only limitation is you can only download 10 books per day from Z Library. However, you can download almost 2,500 books from my Telegram broadcast channel. I'll give you the link shortly. And if you're overwhelmed by 30 books, in fact, these 30 books, I've designed them so that they could cover the undergraduate syllabus of a nutrition or dietetics course, or the nutritional needs for a medical student. Anyway, if you think you're overwhelmed, you don't know where to start with this book. And then as you progress, you can, go deeper, take a deep dive into the other books. And if you want to meet me to discuss what you read in the books, you have a chance in September to do so. However, there are 5 places already been taken up, and there are limited seats. So the sooner you register, the sooner you'll reserve a place for yourself. Attendance is by donation. So details are in the following video.
How to attend Aislan Adnan's Meet the Author luncheon at the Hungry Tapir, 135 Petaling Street, Kuala Lumpur, short walking distance from the Pasar Seni MRT LRT station, from 12:30 hours, Saturday, 5th September 2026.
Step 1. Download all my 30+ books on nutrition for free from Z Library using this URL. However, there is a limit of 10 downloads a day from Z Library. The workaround is to download them, and 2,250 plus others, from my Optimal Health Community Telegram broadcast channel at EPUB Electronic Publishing. All my free ebooks are published in .epub electronic publishing format. If you are still living in the dark ages and only know .pdf, portable document format, and never heard of .epub, don't worry. You are about to have a mind-blowing experiential learning journey. If you use an Apple device, .epub files open in the Books app. If you are an Android user, use Universal Book Reader or a similar app. If you need further instructions on how to read .epub documents, just ask your favorite AI app to teach you. If you have never used an AI app before, start with Grok, Gemini, or ChatGPT. Then move on to DeepSeek, Claude, or Kling later.
Step 2. I have put all my books in the public domain, and you may share them freely. In fact, I strongly implore you to do so. Viralize them, make sure they reach every person who needs the knowledge contained in them. In Malaysia, the most recent data from the National Health and Morbidity Survey 2023 shows that 21.8% of adults are obese and 32.6% are overweight. This means the total combined rate is 54.4% of adults. Scary huge percentages of Malaysians are diabetic or suffer from other non-communicable diseases, NCDs. To be specific, in Malaysia, about 15.5% of adults have chronic kidney disease, CKD, up from 9.1% in 2011. Around 21.4% of adults aged 30 and above are at high risk of cardiovascular disease, CVD. Among older adults, about 8.5% have dementia, equating to roughly 260,000 people as of 2022. A nation is only as strong as its human capital. How strong can a nation be if more than half its population is fat, sick, and nearly dead? Of what good can you be to your family if you are fat, sick, and nearly dead? You owe it to yourself to be the best version of yourself that you can possibly be.
Step 3. Read the books, follow whatever advice that makes sense to you. If something doesn't make sense to you, or causes cognitive dissonance, you can ask me clarifying questions on the 5th of September. Also, be prepared to report on the 5th of September what improvements in your health you have noticed. So far, one person has seen her total cholesterol level drop from always above 5 to 4.6. Another has resolved a chronic constipation issue. I have written 2 books on human stool classification and stool analysis. Another person who wakes up every morning with a white layer of mucus on her tongue for more than half her life now wakes up with a clear tongue. Step 4. Make the minimum donation by the required dates. The longer you prevaricate, the higher the minimum donation gets. Minimum donation per pax: 100 ringgit for donations received by June 30th, 150 ringgit for donations received by July 31st, 200 ringgit for donations received by August 31st, 500 ringgit for donations received by the 5th of September and for walk-ins. Places are limited. However, I do not wish to deprive anyone. If enough people register, we can take over the whole restaurant, so make your donations early to reserve your place. Purpose: your donations will go towards sponsoring persons with disability, PWD, to attend the event and also towards my various ongoing eye treatments. Sponsorship: if you run a business and wish to promote your business, you can sponsor door gifts, gift vouchers, or even cash.
About the author. Aslan Adnan, M.A., is a visually impaired writer and independent researcher whose work focuses on nutrition science, food systems, and the biological foundations of human health. His writing explores how natural foods contain complex compounds that interact with human physiology to support long-term well-being. He has a particular interest in plant-based bioactive compounds, including polyphenols, carotenoids, flavonoids, and other phytochemicals found in fruits, vegetables, herbs, spices, algae, and fungi. His research examines both the roles these compounds play in plants and their potential impact on human nutrition when consumed as part of a balanced diet. Aslan writes with the curiosity of a scientist and the clarity of a cook. He approaches nutrition from a multidisciplinary perspective, drawing on biochemistry, plant biology, and public health nutrition. His work translates complex scientific concepts into clear, practical explanations that help readers understand the nutritional value of everyday foods. He is the author of several books exploring natural sources of antioxidants and other dietary compounds, author of the Nutrient series, Macronutrients, Volume 1, Carbohydrates, Macronutrients, Volume 2, Lipids, Macronutrients, Volume 3, Proteins, Micronutrients, Vitamins, Trace Elements and Minerals, Anti-nutrients, the hidden blockers in your food, Phytonutrients, the quiet power of plants, Water, the forgotten fourth, a macronutrient you can't ignore, Minerals and Trace Elements, Iodine, the element that built modern minds, one nutrient, one global experiment, one fragile victory. Iron deficiency, the hidden drain on your energy, a practical guide to detection, fixes, and long-term control. Nutrition for Vision, the science of seeing better. Author of the Antioxidant series, Antioxidants in Herbs and Spices, Antioxidants in Algae, Microalgae, and Fungi, Antioxidants in Fruits and Vegetables, Antioxidants in Nuts and Seeds, Nutrient-dense natural foods for optimal health, Antioxidants in Berries, Plant pigments, polyphenols, and human health, Antioxidants in the Animal Kingdom, Edible sources, Biological roles, and human health. Other books on health and nutrition, Eat Whole, Whole Health Span, The Science of Plants, Fungi, Algae, and Feeling Awesome, 2nd edition. From Mother's Milk to Mighty Meals, a practical nutrition guide for 2 to 3-year-olds. A Spoonful of Purple, The Story of Ribena, The Geometry of Mouthfeel, Tuberculosis Briefing Paper, 2nd edition. Aisland's 5-Powder Manifesto, Eating the Greek Way, How Cultural Habits Support Health Without Trying. Ideology on a Plate, How Robert F. Kennedy Jr. Turned U.S. Dietary Guidelines into a Scientific Farce. Maslow in 2026, Human Feces, Know Your Shit, Visual Acuity and Its Measurement. These works form part of an ongoing series exploring the chemistry, biological roles, and nutritional significance of bioactive compounds from whole food sources. With a Master's in International Business and Management from the University of Westminster and a postgraduate certificate in teaching from Royal Holloway, University of London, Aslan approaches every page like a classroom, breaking down complex ideas with precision and clarity so anyone can follow along. Building on this foundation, Aslan advocates a practical, food-first approach to nutrition. His work emphasizes whole foods, dietary diversity, and balanced eating patterns, rather than reliance on isolated nutrients or supplements.
How to make a donation. To donate, please scan the QR code found here. Or use the banking details found here.
Important note: include your phone number as the reference when making the bank transfer, as we may need to contact you in case of any last-minute changes. There is no need to write down your name, as it will automatically be displayed.
Important note: as a visually impaired person, VIP, I enjoy legal rights afforded to me by virtue of the Marrakesh Treaty to facilitate access to published works for persons who are blind, visually impaired, or otherwise print disabled. This is a World Intellectual Property Organization (WIPO) Treaty on Copyright, adopted in Marrakesh, Morocco, on June 27, 2013. It establishes limitations and exceptions to copyright law to improve access to published works for people who are blind, visually impaired, or otherwise print disabled. It is commonly referred to as the Marrakesh Treaty or Marrakesh VIP Treaty 2013. The treaty entered into force in Malaysia on June 30, 2023, subsequent to the necessary amendments to the Copyright Act and the Printing Presses and Publications Act to comply with Malaysia's obligations under the Marrakesh VIP Treaty 2013. As a VIP, I have the legal right to import, export, distribute, edit, reformat, and modify copyrighted work without permission from the copyright owner. While distribute means I can freely give away copyrighted work to anyone I please, if you as the recipient are not a person with disability, you can only keep the work for your own personal use and may not share them with a third party. In Malaysia, unlike most other countries, the rights afforded by the Marrakesh Treaty are granted to all persons with disability, PWD, not just to the blind and visually impaired BVI community, and also granted to their caregivers and to those acting on the express instructions of a PWD.
Share your thoughts in the comments below. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe to our channel to show your support.